morning, friends. Welcome to another vlog. It is my rest day vlog for my 13th week / quarterly refresh. I'm really excited about today because it is a day focused on rest. Now, I just had an entire season of rest during my summer season and it was absolutely amazing. We are back at homeschool now, so we have been pretty busy since the start of August. And I am looking forward to this day, although I feel like this week has not gone quite the way that I had hoped it would because we have been busy with homeschool and I've had a lot of other stuff that I've had to work on as well. So it's a little bit challenging to try and take a week for a quarterly refresh and really focus on those times. I have had probably a couple of hours each day to work on my particular themes for this week: reflect, refresh, renew, and now today, rest. Today is our screen-free day, so I should have a little bit more downtime. It's a lighter homeschool day, and hopefully it will be a good restful day. However, Friday is also a pretty busy home management day for me. I am trying to get a lot of larger home cleaning projects done so that I don't have to do them over the weekend. Things like cleaning the bathrooms, washing the floors, washing the sheets, all of that kind of stuff. And that does take me a little bit longer than if I were, to spread them out more. And I did actually talk about this in one of my Plan With Me's, I think recently, where I was talking about maybe changing the days where I'm doing certain weekly cleaning tasks, because I don't want Fridays to be full of cleaning when it's our analog day. And that day for my kids' screen-free day, I want to be able to play games and read books together and do some fun art things or maybe go out and do some stuff. But when I'm spending most of the day cleaning, that doesn't happen. So we do need to get Jack some sneakers. Emma needs new running shoes because she did her run to Target, which is about 9 miles, I guess, 8.5 miles, 8.5, somewhere around there, on Monday, and her feet were killing her, I think 2 or 3 miles in. So she really struggled getting there. And I felt really bad because I knew she needed new sneakers, but I thought that these ones would be fine until, a little bit later in September. Anyways, so we need to get sneakers. I don't know if we're going to do that today or not. Everybody kind of sleeps in on Fridays. Nobody sets an alarm. Of course, I was up at 4:30. Why? I don't know. So I've been editing videos. This weekend is the launch of the Passionate Penny Pincher Home Planner. I wanted to get that video all ready to go for Sunday. And then this morning is the Sterling Ink 2026 planner launch. And I know I'm going to get a B5 common planner. I also want to get an A5 common planner because I don't know if the B5 is too big. And this is really terrible. I just need to purchase one planner. It would be much better if I could. Then the other thing I'm thinking is, instead of getting the B6 planner, to get the N1 planner. They're the same price, so if I get the N1 planner, I don't have to also get an N1 booklet for health tracking for next year. I think I can combine it, but I'm a little concerned that it will be too big and I won't want to take it to doctor's appointments, which is essentially what I use the booklet for. I also just want to get the complete planner and the core planners just to share them on my channel, but that's a lot of money, so I don't know. But that launch is at 10 a.m. I hope that her website doesn't crash, but I'm excited to order some things, and when they get here, I will share them. Hopefully it won't be too long, but I think she said 4 to 6 weeks processing time and then plus shipping. So I'm hoping to have it before the end of October. We'll see. I need to make myself some breakfast. I need to plan out my day because that's really the first thing. I know Jack wants to go to the football game at the high school tonight. Emma will probably want to go to that as well. And I think it actually looks like it's going to be nice this evening, so maybe we'll all go. But I kind of have to plan out my day and figure out what I want to focus on, and then breakfast, and then rest. It is 10:15 and I just placed my Sterling Ink order. I was considering getting the A5 bundle, the A5 vertical bundle that they have or had for launch, and it came in either the mulberry or the onyx, and I wanted to try the mulberry A5 vertical anyways, and so I was going to get that, but it was sold out before before I could actually order it. So I took that as a sign from God that I did not need to purchase the bundle. There was no need for it. And so I ended up getting the A5 vertical, the B5 vertical, the N1 daily, and an A6 monthly booklet. And that will just be for my purse, for when I'm out and about with the kids, for appointments and such. I will use that to keep track of all of their stuff. And last year I had an N2, which I really liked, but it doesn't fit in one of my smaller bags. That's why I decided to get the A6 size. It was just a little too tall for one of my bags. So the A6 should fit fine, and I don't need all that much space for when I'm out and about. So I think that that will be a good little addition. Now, I am kind of regretting not looking at the notebooks because Emma wanted a notebook and I wanted a notebook, and I did not get any notebooks because it was too stressful with the launch. So anyways, I will have to place another order later on for notebooks, and I think that later on she will restock some of the different covers, maybe. I don't know. I have to think about that, but I don't really need the notebook right now, so that's where we're at. I might place another order because it will be over the whatever the threshold for free shipping is, and then I'll just have 2 orders. Maybe that's what I will do. Okay, all of the notebooks are sold out in the sizes that I was looking at, so I won't be getting any notebooks right now. And I don't need any stickers at the moment, so I feel good about my order. I definitely thought I was going to be getting some different things, but I think that what I ordered is good. Did I need to purchase the A5 vertical common planner? Probably not. I will probably stay with the B5, but I did want to see it in person, and so I may end up selling it. We shall see. Although that mulberry cover is so pretty. I'm really feeling the deep pinks and reds this year, and I think that is because I think that the Powersheets that I'm going to go with is the berry color. And because of that, I probably should have gotten the Onyx B5 common planner instead of the caramel, but I really like the caramel cover. Anyways, these are random decisions that I'm having today. Lucy's making pancakes right now, and I am just going to get the rest of the laundry sorted that I washed yesterday and try and sit down and do some reading. I think that that is where I'm going to go to next on this rest day. Restful rhythm is going pretty well. I am easily going through this Lazy Genius Way book. This is a reread for me, and so I did start it yesterday during my renew day, and I figured that I would just continue on going through, and right now I'm on the magic question chapter, and I think that that is a really good idea, and it is something that I try to do. What can I do now to make life easier later? And I'm actually looking at the dinner section, and food prep is one of those things that I have definitely struggled with in the past 5 years or so, and I don't know why, because I never used to struggle with food prep and meal planning and all of that stuff in my other house before we moved to this house, but it was like something happened when we moved to this house. Things were just different, but I need to get back to that. I used to be really good about prepping, like cooking dry beans on the weekend and then storing them in the fridge, or making a big batch of them and putting them in the freezer so that I could have them and just pull out ingredients that were already prepped and ready to go. I love to cook, and it's not something where I stress when I'm cooking. As long as things are prepped and ready, I can throw things together to make a pretty good meal, I feel like, and my family seems to not complain too much. But when I don't have those ingredients prepped and ready, it takes me so much longer because we are an ingredient household. And so I don't have cans of beans, I have like bags of dry beans. So if I don't prep those ahead of time, it's really hard for me to make meals with it because I have to go through the extra process of a quick boil and then letting them sit for an hour and then cooking them on the stove for a couple of hours, or cooking them in the oven, or putting them in a crock pot. But it's so much prep ahead of time. Whereas if I take the time once a month to manage it and get everything prepped and ready to go and just have it in the freezer. Or, once a week, prep rice and beans and chop veggies and stuff, and then have everything in the fridge to just pull out as needed. It works so much better. I don't know why I haven't been taking time to do this in my weekly rhythm, but it is something that I'm thinking a lot about. Even though this is my rest day, it's also time for me to just reflect and consider changes that I want to make. And whenever I move into the fall, I'm always starting to think about how to improve my rhythms, because I feel like once January is here, all of our homeschool rhythms and just general day-to-day stuff is flowing really well. We're used to our resources. We know what we need to do at certain time blocks throughout the day as far as school stuff. My work stuff is easier to maintain, and we finish off the school year in the spring, and then we have a season of rest in the summer. But then we get back to fall, and it's all new stuff that we have to relearn together to figure out what's going to work. And there are always little tweaks and changes every year. It's never the same rhythm every fall, which, that happens because we're all getting older. But it just reminds me that I need to take some time now to think about those rhythms and systems and figure out where I need to make some changes now so that it will serve me well as we're going through the rest of 2025. So those are my thoughts right now. I'm very tired. The weather is just like dark and gross out right now. I don't think it's raining anymore, which is good. The sun's supposed to come out later, which would be nice. I could use a little vitamin D, but I think I might make myself an iced coffee and then just continue working on some things in my commonplace notebook. But I also think that I want to look through the home edit book that I have, because one of my goals is decluttering for this fall season. It's not decluttering my house, it's really just some very specific areas in my basement with regards to homeschool materials and toys, and some of my office stuff like planners, all of the planners and notebooks and things that I keep. But I kind of want to go through that and see if there are any other things that jump out at me. So I think I'm going to take some time to do that, and I will have to figure out what to make for lunch pretty soon. So it's about 1:30, and I've been having a wonderful day of rest where I've just been reading and kind of hanging out with the kids and, looking at some fun recipe ideas for the weekend. And Lucy made pancakes, and earlier in the week she had made her own pumpkin spice mix, I guess, just with like cinnamon and ginger and nutmeg and allspice. I think there might have been something else in it. We don't have cloves. I don't like cloves, so I don't think any cloves were in it. Maybe that was all. But she made pancakes and she put some of that pumpkin spice mixture in there. We didn't put any pumpkin in the pancakes, but they actually turned out quite nice. So that was good. And this afternoon, I think my plan is just to look at some college stuff with Emma and continue reading. I do have one book over here. It's the new Alex Astor book. I think it's Summer in the City. I can't read the title right now, but it is an adult novel, and her Lightlark series is supposed to be YA. I don't think it is, but it's supposed to be. So I'm interested to read this book and see how it is. And this one is like a contemporary, it's not fantasy or romantasy, so it will be interesting to read that. But other than that, I think what I'm going to do is just close up the vlog here, because I'm not going to be doing anything super interesting this afternoon. I'm really just resting. I'm super tired today, so rest is definitely something that I need. In fact, I might even lay down and take a little nap after I make some lunch for everybody. Everybody ate pancakes really late, so now no one's hungry for lunch. But it's been a really good day, and I know that as the day continues, it will continue to be restful, and I'm glad that I'm taking this time. Even though I don't necessarily need to take this time today, I just feel like having these 4 theme days for my 13th week / quarterly refresh is so helpful to give me focus for particular things that I want to manage during this week. It's been an interesting week, not as productive or in depth as I would like it to be. I did want to do a lot more with refreshing my home on my refresh day, but I just didn't have the time because we are so focused on homeschool right now, and that is my number one priority during the week. So there may be some bleed over to this weekend for me to do a little bit more journaling. I am still doing some journaling and reflecting today as well, but I will keep that in mind as I'm considering planning these weeks for next year. And when I pick the week for my 13th week, they lined up pretty perfectly. I think I maybe mentioned this in my vlog that I did yesterday that went up maybe earlier this week or last week, that my first quarter was 12 weeks, then I had my 13th week. My second season was 8 weeks, then I had my 13th week, quote unquote, 9th week. Then I had my summer season for 12 weeks, and now it's my 13th week. And I will have another 12 weeks, and then it will be December, and December is different for me. I don't really set new personal goals. So the way that I lined up the weeks worked really well, but I almost feel like I need to adjust things a little bit, but I don't want to adjust them so much that I'm doing, my first season ends in the middle of March, or my second season starts in the middle of March instead of in April. I don't want it to get too chaotic trying to figure out how I'm going to manage those quarters. So I may just have to adjust how I'm managing my other stuff during this week. So we'll see. We'll see. It all depends on when we actually start homeschool next year as well. And if Emma goes away to college in August, we may not start until later, even later than we did this year, which was the beginning of August. So we'll see. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this little series of vlogs on my 13th week / quarterly refresh. If you haven't purchased a Powersheets planner for 2026, they are on sale now. I do have a discount code. You can get 10% off your entire purchase at Cultivate What Matters whenever you use my link or my discount code. And that is for any order, not just for the Powersheets. I would love to hear if you did purchase a Powersheets planner, what cover choice you got. I'm really interested to hear what everybody's choices are this year, because I think that their cover choices are a little bit different. Yes, they have a blue and a green, and they do have a floral, but the floral is very different than the florals in the past. And the berry and the acorn are both very different to me than color palettes that they've used in the past. So really interesting to hear what everybody chooses. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're looking for more help and encouragement around home and homeschool and goals, I would love for you to come check out my membership community. That link is always in the description. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.